Hello, good morning, Mark. Welcome. How are you today?
Doing well. Good to see you, Nick. Good to see everyone. It's another Friday in paradise.
Paradise is what we make of it, sir. If we choose to see this beautiful garden, we can see it.
That's what I think as well. And yeah, I've been talking to someone about this. Your life could be paradise or it could be the other place. And it's all in your mind, it's all in your heart, and it's how you do it. And of course, a lot of people are going through the agony or the delight of especially in the States, about the finished political race. And there's a lot going on, a lot we can learn from it from either side. From either side, there's a lot to learn.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I can say is since the election, I thought I would hear a lot more of it, like, and see a lot more gloating. I haven't seen it now I've seen it, but it's not been a grandiose sense of either ha or there's been no Civil War type vibes to me. And that's what I was really concerned because I kept hearing that here and there. And of course I remembered the scripture, there are going to be wars and rumors of wars. And you know, we never know how people will respond with group mentality. And there's a direction because we are pack animals. We love to be in community. All joking aside, community is where we thrive. That's where we are alive. That's where we get to grow. And it's also where we can make really bad choices. And I'm glad that at this point I don't see some of those choices that people were prophesying would be made.
Yeah. it's
Good job, USA.
yeah, it's congratulations to all people who participated
Yeah,
and are continuing to participate in either direction. I think it's when you quit on either side, that's when it's over. But when you continue, that's when you have a chance to progress and move forward. So yeah, it's a lot of things have happened, and I you know I have seen also a lot of emotions from both sides. I believe it,
hmm
both sides. And uh, for me, as a student of human nature and communication, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. Um, I even did um, a lot of videos about it in the years past, but not this year.
that's awesome. That engagement. And I believe as we engage with our society at large, we keep a pulse, just almost on how we walk together, how we find synchronicity and not just synergy, but how do we start walking hand in hand, one step at a time to a future where we can finally say that despite of differences, despite challenges, we're people, gloriously imperfect, but progressing. And I think a lot of times the worst comment for me and the worst mindset is when we judge everyone that goes to a certain church or belongs to a certain political party as one instead of seeing the individuals that are there. Because if you're listening to this right now, you and I both can agree, whether we say it out loud or not, we both can agree that when we are clumped, I love that word, clumped with a group, we want people to recognize us as well because we're individuals, we have our own thoughts and ideas. We always want that courtesy, how often do we extend that courtesy to others? How often do we intentionally go against unconscious bias because it's unconscious? But how often can we fight our almost our systems to really see people? Because I'll tell you, that's a fight worth having. It's a fight worth taking up because at the end of the day, just like we're in Toastmasters and in TED, we learn to listen, to give feedback. What happens when we learn to see and then perceive? There's a big difference between just seeing and perceiving. And those things in our cultural contexts, I believe that as we change our minds and our thought processes, that's how we change the world, isn't it?
Yeah, we can. And I think you are one of those champions, Nick. You
Oh,
always go beyond the surface. You always go beyond the surface. This is the Art of Encouragement podcast. And one thing I want to people to know, wherever the outcome of this week's political event is, there's always going to be um, things. It's you probably have felt the fever, right? Whichever side you were on, but that fever will subside, and we have to get back to the business of living together. And that makes a lot of sense. It's what legacy are you leaving? And I'm, like I said, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn about each movement, what is happening, why people behave one way or the other. And this is also a time to plant the seeds of action or take action, to take back. Okay, so you think, well, this is what may happen in the next few years. What actions do I need to take to be in a different position? Or maybe you're already in a great position. What actions do I need to do to keep this position so I can keep growing my family or my influence, or keep growing in on your spiritual path? And this is a perfect time. You can cool off or whatever time you need to take, but then just devise a plan. Where would you like to be in 4 years? And I think it's a perfect timing. Don't do it. Don't wait until New Year's, but actually do it this week or next week. So that's what I'm working on, and what plan am I going to be executing?
that's right. I was seeing all kinds of articles pop up. You're gonna laugh at this for expats around the US to real estate in other parts of the country. And I said, it's interesting they would be targeting right now, from a marketing perspective, how they're going about just gently putting that in people's ear. Well, there are options, and that's what I was seeing. I said, my
I,
word.
I I I love how you use humor for everything, and we have to laugh. We have to laugh. Like I said, this is not a political show, but politics does affect us, just like money. Money affects everything. It's not
If
about
you
the
want to
money,
send
but
us any donations, we'll accept those. No.
we will accept the donations. Yes, we
Yeah,
will. And we always looking forward to opportunities to collaborate. But you have to find humor. You have to
absolutely.
find humor in it. It's one of those, I think humor it's one of those traits of resilience, right? When you can laugh
Absolutely.
about something. And if you don't laugh, like, I mean, are you just taking space?
Right.
Taking space on Earth.
I'll tell you, first of all, I want to say, hey, Greg McClintock, who is at the hospital right now. He's thinking about us. He wasn't able to get logged on and that sort of thing, but Greg's been going through it. He sent me a photo this week and he just showed the condition of his leg. It broke my heart. But I had to compete with him, so I spent all night in the hospital last night, and I wanted to make sure that I was up for you guys. And then I fell asleep. Unfortunately, I got up about 30 minutes ago. But, you know, how do we respond when we get tired of the same bad things happening and they're out of our control? That also requires intentional mindset. It requires discipline in a way I've never found discipline before because, it's painful. Had another blood clot last night and it was a big one. And because I've had the other surgeries recently, I didn't have the same warnings that I had before. And this really, it got me. And I'm thankful that I started second guessing because I didn't think it was. It didn't feel the same, didn't look, I thought I'd hit it on something and it was just really tender. No, in a matter of hours, my entire leg was just screaming, "Hey, Nick, here I am." And it was after sitting down at, I had a little interview yesterday. And after the interview, I stood up and whoa, I never felt that before. I'm tired of feeling new pains. And I said, this really is the best of times and the worst of times. 'Cause there's so many opportunities. There's so many people out there that need encouragement, that need to know, regardless of their background, regardless of their circumstances, they can make it, that they can keep going and they can be the trailblazers.
Mm.
They can be the dreamers. And if I give up, if I say, I'm tired of this pain, any of those things, what kind of legacy is that? And it's about perspective. It's about mindset and it's about hope. The interview I said I was in yesterday, right before this, was my dream come true. I was being interviewed by a management company. And guess what, Mark? I'm not only going to have a contract and playing the piano for orchestras around the United States and
Wow.
classical concerti and that sort of thing. I'm also going to have the opportunity to participate in a weekly international broadcast and podcast um,
Wow.
with just the legends. And I'm blown away. And they sought me. They went to, you remember Brenda that was here
Yeah,
with
yeah,
us?
Brenda
They
Brown. Yeah, yeah.
contacted her. She set it up in less than 24 hours. Here we are. That's
That is,
and that's the best of times and the worst of times.
mm,
When you're having bad days, when you're going through the crap of life, that's a nice art of encouragement phrase. Don't give up.
yeah.
Don't give up. If this year, if this summer, at any point, I'd said no, I need to step back. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be there. And God has brought just such, I believe, a peace there, closing doors that needed to be closed, and keeping me with people who appreciate me and who know me and my journey. And I don't have to defend it. I don't have to explain it. They love me because I'm me. And the thing he said yesterday, and I'm sorry if you're one of my friends that are a classical musician, I'm not talking about you, or am I? Most classical musicians that are in the performance world, they don't engage. They don't go forth. And a lot of times they apologize for their music. They say, "Well, I know it's probably not what you listen to."
Mm,
I believe that the music that transcends language. It is music that people participate in. And often today, it it's one person can sing this song. Oh, that's her song. That's his song. The amazing thing about classical music, it's not my song, it's not your song, it's ours. And that music that is timeless, that will continue. And I'll tell you, Rachmaninoff is my personal favorite composer of all time. And to know that I'm going to get to bring those back out and have the experience of playing with some of the nation's finest orchestras, that's a dream come true. And here's the thing, they know my story and they want me to share that as well. And
Wow.
it's
That's
incredible.
that's like, it's like a bullseye inside of a biggest bullseye. It's so amazing. When you can be yourself, do what you love, and be appreciated by people that respect you and value you. What a
Absolutely.
great place to be. And
Absolutely.
you deserve every part of it, Nick.
Thank you.
And I am glad that this is working out in the way that you want. So you will be continuing in, ascending in that world.
Absolutely. And it what it took for my dream to come true is authenticity. It's
Mm.
being me, flawed, eccentric, whatever you want to call me, but I've got some good vibes. I might not have a lot of money in the bank, but I've got good vibes. And that's what I want to have stock in. I want to have stock in hope and inspiration and in love. And because those are the things, faith, hope, and love, those are the eternal ones that when we die, those things there, they remain.
Wow. Wow. You always such a treasure of inspiration, my friend. Always inspiring
Thank
me,
you.
inspiring everyone around us. I know our show is a little bit shorter today.
Oh, yes.
Um,
I'm sorry, but yeah.
um, but it's congratulations, Nick. I hope
Thank
this
you.
you continue sharing that part of the journey with us and how it all
Absolutely.
goes. We'd love to
I'll
know.
be part of the Carnegie series. I'll be there a lot. So
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. And that is really your dream.
it really is just to be able to share music with people and to share good music with people,
Yeah.
quality music, and to show people, hey, if a 9-year-old kid from Alabama, rural Alabama, can learn how to play the piano, anyone can.
Mm.
We can do anything we set our minds to if we're diligent and if we believe in ourselves. And I
Absolutely.
believe you could do anything, Mark. I believe that with the right instruction, anyone can, if they have that inspiration, if they have that hope, because that's where tenacity comes in. And it's like a magical recipe. And the product of our trials is is amazing. When and as we were talking about music, and I know we're about to close here, I want to say this. I used to hear people make comments about emotion in music. And this is a teenager. I knew everything. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I knew everything then. And I just thought that people were saying words. They were nothing more than platitudes. And when they would say things like, well, it's not until you experience this that you'll know what that emotion is. It's not until you experience this that you'll be able to relate to that. And I thought because I could understand it cognitively, yeah, I could process what they were going through, but I hadn't been in their shoes.
Mm.
And they are absolutely right. the the journey I've had has allowed me to experience great joy and great pain to extremes. And the way now that I'm able in composing or performing music to express but also internalize emotion is definitely different at my age than it was when I knew everything. So we have to
Mm.
learn about ourselves along the way. So, well, guys, I'm Nick Patterson. This is The Art of Encouragement. Mark's going to give us an amazing, amazing message here to send us on our way. See you guys next week.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone. I hope you are finding some time that you can discover something new about your surroundings, about the people around you, and truly set on a mission, on a quest to learn something new about people around you or something new in your world. You will benefit from it. Your world will be that much richer. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Nick.